Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lord Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So listen, man. Listen. Let's get into before we get into the meat and potatoes. Shout out to everybody that's been copping the merch, man. I gotta give y'all a shout out like every video because it's new groups of people almost daily, get in tune with the merch. And one of the channel's biggest supporters is Miss Pamela Hertz, Mama Hertz, Jalen Hertz mom. She tunes into the content, and you see she got her bucket on, man, the rinse stew bucket, man. It's amazing, man. Just this love and support we're getting from all areas. I gotta give y'all a shout out as much as possible, man. So listen, the rinse stew hats, the rinse stew snapbacks, rinse stew buckets, Hertz season snapbacks, all that is available on the website. And yeah, make sure you tap in, man. DM me for something off, man. I'll look out. DM me for something off, man, and I can make that happen, man. Listen though, man, Big Manscape also in the building. Take care of Pops during Father's Day. Please don't leave Pops out, because we feel that when that happens. We do. So listen, man, let's get into the meat and potatoes, man. So as you see by, the title of this video, you got to kind of do a versus with this one. You got to kind of do a versus. Andre Dillard versus Jordan Mailata. Who do you prefer? You know what I'm saying? What's to come out of this battle? Because this is a battle for the left tackle position, the blind spot of our Jalen Hurts that we're trying to keep that jersey as clean as possible. So who do you feel comfortable with going into battle? Listen, one guy's a 7th round draft pick, the other guy's a 1st round draft pick. This is just not your normal battle. And it seems like the 1st round draft pick, if you want me to keep it tall, is a bit of an underdog in this situation. Andre Dillard is looking like an underdog in this situation. I mean, we had really high hopes for Andre Dillard. I still think Andre Dillard is a suitable NFL left tackle, a suitable NFL lineman. But, circumstances with Andre Dillard not being able to play, and the NFL is a next man business. Jordan Mailata stepped in, and he stepped in a big way and did some things that Andre Dillard wasn't doing. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about pass blocking. Listen, I wasn't always as okay with Jordan Mailata as I am now. He had to learn the game. This is a rugby player, you know what I'm saying? Rugby is not football. You got to line up. You know what I mean? It's kind of different. It's a lot different. But this is a guy who transitioned from another sport and quickly, like in a year and a half, really grasps the game as a 7th round project. A lot of people thought. So Jordan Mailata played a total of 733 offensive snaps last season. It's a lot of snaps for a left tackle, with 502 of them being pass blocking snaps. That don't surprise me at all, because we just for some reason decided to throw the ball so much. You know what I'm saying? Out of those, he allowed a total of 32 pressures. That's not bad. He was graded as a top 15 tackle by PFF from week 11 and on. That's actually pretty good for a 7th round pick with all the great left tackles that's in the game. While he did allow 7 sacks last year, he only allowed a sack every 71st snap. He averaged giving up pressure on every 16th. 7 sacks given up is a lot. I'm not going to lie. He gave up a lot of sacks. You know what I'm saying? But he had a lot of snaps. So the more snaps you have, the more sacks you're going to give up. I think it's still some room for improvement for him right there. Now, as for Andre Dillard, you kind of got to go off of Andre Dillard's, his rookie campaign, man. Dillard surrendered 25 total pressures on 183 pass blocking snaps. You know what I'm saying? In 2019, according to PFF, Dillard also gave up a quarterback pressure once every 7 snaps, giving the edge to Mailata in that department. You know what I'm saying? I think Mailata was every 16 snaps, he was giving it up. Every 7 snaps, he was giving up a pressure. And I think that got to do to a lot of, some of the alarming things, and not alarming things, just the differences that I see in the 2 left tackles that we're going to talk about at the end of this video. Dillard played a total of 304 snaps during his rookie season, with 183 of them being pass blocking snaps, and he allowed 6.5 sacks that season, a half sack less than Mailata's total, but in almost a quarter of more snaps. You know what I'm saying? So it averages out. It averages out in Mailata's favor in that department as well. According to PFF, Andre Dillard also surrendered 25 total. Was that up there? Yeah, he surrendered 25 total on 183. That's the average. Yeah, that was up there. You know what I mean? It's just it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it. So one of the things that pop out to me already, and the differences that just jump out to me about these 2 left tackles is that Jordan Mailata and Andre Dillard have different levels of strength. Jordan Mailata is just way stronger than Andre Dillard. So that leaves a lot of questions when you're going against some of these guys like Aaron Donald or Khalil Mack, those guys who could beat you with brute strength. You have to be able to be strong when you play in a position like that in the National Football League. We saw him get manhandled in the game in his rookie year against Minnesota. They was throwing him all over the place like he was just like a bag of Frito-Lays, just throwing him around. You know what I'm saying? He was getting manhandled in that game. And that's not what you want to see. You want to see it be a little fight. You know what I'm saying? At least hold the dude. Don't just get excused out of the way like you a little college girl and he's a club bouncer. That's not supposed to happen from your left tackle. But hey, you know what I'm saying? Run blocking, man. Let's talk about that, man. One concern coming out of college, and it still kind of remained at the pro level so far from what I've seen from Dillard, was that he was not a willing run blocker. Now, you can't you can't kind of be... There's two types of left tackles. Some are really good in pass protection. Some are really good in the screen game and in the run blocking game. Some guys, you got to be wanting to hit. You know what I'm saying? You got to be wanting to hit. And I don't think all the time, every time Andre Dillard, I just didn't see that from him. He didn't want to hit. On the other hand, Jordan Mailata is a willing pass blocker. I mean, he's a rugby guy. So it only makes sense that he would want to run out there and get that contact. That's what he did in rugby. So you know what I'm saying? And rugby is way more physical than football, if you ask me, because you're taking away the pads. So I think Jordan Mailata, he relishes at the moment. And he also tapered Jordan Mailata in his young career, throwing people around, putting people on the ground. Big guy, small guy, guys with a name, and you know... And one attribute that I got to think of that, you know, that really pops out to me when you're talking about Jordan Mailata is is how much ground he covers. When the ball is snapped, that kick back, that kick drop step, you know, to get in position to take on the brace of the pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? That wingspan, and when he kicks back and gets his hands, he covers like 4 yards, it looks like. He's a big dude. So he got the head start against some of these speed rushers as well, because he covers so much ground in the passing play when the ball is snapped and when he kicks back to get into into position. So I really, really like that. That's a real good attribute to have from a guy that size. Jason Peters had fast feet. You know what I mean? And when I think about this position, the left tackle position, I think about how much the cone drill really comes into play for this type of position. A lot of people think a lot of stuff at the combine just don't make sense to do. But when you think about, you know, when the ball is snapped and the left tackle has to get in position, that's quickness. It's not speed. It's quickness. And quickness could take you a long way on the offensive line or in the NFL in general. So my conclusion, who would I rather have at left tackle? I like the development of Jordan Mailata. I like how fast he's developing, but I also am intrigued to see if Andre Dillard can turn it around, because Andre Dillard was a guy who didn't give up almost anything at the collegiate level, and he looked real good as a rookie. I don't know if it's a mental block there, but you know, it's competition at the left tackle position again, and you know, you really can't go wrong with either guy. But right now it's looking like the 7th round pick might actually have more potential than the 1st round pick. You know what I mean? Sad to say, that's how drafting works. But think about it like this. I don't know what's going on with Landon Dickerson's contract situation, but wouldn't that be crazy to develop a Landon Dickerson right next to Jordan Mailata? Let me know what you think in the comments, man.